So who am I, who are iTalent, and why are we here, and why are we talking about digital transformation and how to succeed in this age of digital at Crowdsourcing Week? So iTalent are a tech enterprise consulting firm. We are San Francisco based. I'm obviously, I'm here in Europe. We've over 200 employees. And we've a number of different practice focuses. So we do have the managed services sector, where we focus on digital transformation, amongst other things. And we also have, as well as the managed services, we have the change management, we have the consulting services. But we're also very proud of the fact that we have an engineering center of excellence, which is based out of Hyderabad in India. So we can build the applications, we can build the APIs. And I'll go into our business model later because it's relevant in terms of how we work with some leading cloud technology partners to deliver mutual benefits for our customers, which works around digital transformation. So in terms of who I am, just to put some context behind it, I am 16 years plus experience in the tech industry, more specifically telecoms. So if we're talking about disruption, going back to when I used to work for one of the top 5 European mobile network operators, where we used to talk about voice, and we used to talk about text messaging, and we used to talk about encouraging people to ring traffic lines. So when you're sat in a traffic jam, call 1200 and find out you're in a traffic jam and for just how long. And also then moving on to the manufacturing side of it and the handsets. And obviously, Guy, you just mentioned pink. So what did the handset manufacturer do? They turned it pink. Now, of course, that was way ahead of its time, and I suppose you can look at it as being successful when there's every 5 seconds one of those pink phones is flying out of a retailer. But times have moved on and times have evolved. And at iTalent, also following on from what Guy had to say, we are a women-owned and 56% managed, female-managed company, which is one of the values that I love about iTalent. I'm very passionate about diversity, and why I'm talking about diversity is it's important in this context of digital transformation, because you can't transform if you're not meeting the needs of all of your market. And what are the key drivers? And I'll just move on. So looking at a digital transformation, and I'm not going to read this out to you, but this digital revolution, every organization and every chief executive should be thinking about this, because it is a revolution and it is shaking up every organization and every industry. So you have to think about, okay, what are the key drivers? One of which is people. One of which is changing technology and moving technology, as we all know. And the changing dynamics of the competition. So let's, for example, look at some of the disruptors and who are they? So which is the biggest taxi firm in the world, which owns no taxis? It's Uber. What's the, and you all know these, what's the biggest accommodation provider, which actually owns no real estate? Airbnb. What's the biggest phone company that actually owns no mobile infrastructure? Skype and WeChat. What's the biggest retailer with no inventory? And I'm talking global. Be Alibaba. The biggest movie house that actually has no cinemas? Netflix, of course. So this is where this disruption is coming in from. And to be honest, every business is a digital business, whether big or small, and every job has a digital part to it. And every corporate now should be looking at the fact that it's not just about chief financial officer, chief executive officer, chief operations officer, CIO. chief digital officer is just as important to that digital side of the business. And I think one other thing I want to bring into this is the millennials. Obviously, with 16 plus years experience within tech and mobile, I no longer fit into that category, that age group, which is 18 to 34 if we count Generation Y. If we look at Generation Z, basically born after, I think it's 1998. And they are relevant because they're part of your workforce and they're part of the innovators moving forward. And I actually spoke, I spend a lot of time with millennials, and I spoke to some on International Women's Day and said to them, what is it, whether they were working for a big corporate or working for an entrepreneur and for a SME, what is it that keeps you here? And why would you leave if you were to look at it that way? And one of the things with millennials is they want to feel empowered. They want to feel like they are contributing, and the key word is contributing here. Not just to society, but to their organization. And if they can't contribute, they will leave. And this comes out of their mouths, not out of mine. And they can also teach your current workforce how to live with this new technology, keep people up to date with what's happening, because there is a lot to be learned from them. And one thing that iTalent does in terms of looking at that with our partners, you can see some of our customers here, but these are just a sample selection of our partners. And as I mentioned, we look to work with some of the leading cloud-based partners. So one of the things I wanted to talk about, one of the partners first and foremost, or two of them, is Lithium and Jive. Why would you not collaborate? Not only with your customers, you need to be close to your consumers. They're using every single social network, but also internally, allowing your people who would not normally be sat at that decision-making table, that you can learn if you're a decision maker from those people, be them younger or older. And these deliver a social networking collaboration platform, and it covers a number of things. So if you take it internally, how can you best search, share content, gather ideas? And this is a platform which we integrate with our partners into our customers to meet their needs. And it allows people to communicate. So if you're not sat at the table, just going back to what I was saying, these people, everybody has ideas. Not everybody's a game changer, but that doesn't mean that as a game changer, that you can't contribute to a game-changing idea. So it's a brilliant way for these people to feel like they're being valued and that they're actually being listened to. And there's different ways of using both Lithium and Jive. And in fact, we did it with Cisco. And we did it with Cisco in a very different way. So they obviously, within their financial companies and departments, have a lot of different projects and programs going on. And it was about allowing them to collaborate. Now, I've worked for some companies where the projects and programs work in silos because they have to. They have a project or a program or a product to deliver. So it allows them to collaborate because where there's one solution, no doubt in a different project and program, that solution will come up. And it also allows them to see how many different programs and projects are hitting a certain department or VP at the same time. And in terms of cost effectiveness, which is what iTalent is all about delivering for its customers along with its partners, is effectivity and cost effectiveness. Sorry. So we saved them 10 million on the bottom line in terms of US dollars. Then the other part of that is if we're talking about collaboration, which is key to digital translation, and it doesn't matter if you're crossing borders. We're really proud to be working with Lingotech. It's a cloud-based solution which will translate, and it's across more than 250 languages, every single piece of your global content. So whether you're looking at a landing page, a website, customer communications. We've built the connectors that go into Lithium and also Oracle Eloqua, so that it's cloud-based translation. But not only that, talking to one of the CEOs of a major telco, he was talking about, but how do my people communicate? We have offices all over the world. The Italians are communicating with the Italians, the Portuguese with the Portuguese, but we all want to be able to collaborate together. So again, the language translation in terms of putting it into those collaboration platforms, into the intranet, is also helpful. Now, one of the key drivers, one of the key powers for digital transformation is real-time data. And you've heard mentioned quite a lot this week about data, the importance of it. Burst is one of our other partners, and we've just started working with Burst. And this is, choose whether you're working with Google Analytics or AdTech or Your Space. This can be the platform that's used, and Burst has just been labelled as, by Forrester and Gartner of recent, the market leader and the number one in terms of business intelligence and data analytics. It's live data. It stops the silos. So you can run it across the platforms that you're using already, because to be close to your customers, you have to understand this kind of data. So it's a really great platform in terms of managing that. So in terms of people, so we've talked about analytics and collaboration. The other thing to do with people is game changing. So we're just about to start working with another partner, and they've developed the GC index. And not everybody wants to be a game changer, and who the heck knows what a game changer is. But the GC Index has been working with corporate and clinical psychologists for the last 2 years. And they have, from both Duke's University in the States and also Cambridge University here. So imagine, and it's not a Myers-Briggs. It's not a personality test. It's about how you and your teams contribute. Because, of course, as part of digital transformation, you've got to look at the teams that you've got. The technology's there. It's not about the technology, right? It's not about the technology. It's about the fact that you've got to have the right skills in the right places to be able to use those technologies. You've got to be able to understand your consumers. You've got to be able to see what's coming next in terms of technology. So what is a game changer? Now, some game changers, if they're on the extreme scale, fizzing with ideas the whole time. Now, imagine if you've got a bunch of game changers in a room. They're going to be fizzing, but who's going to be doing? So in terms of the GC Index, it helps you understand how to put your teams together. Because moving forward, in terms of digital transformation, in order for companies to evolve, for them to innovate, for them to grow to scale, maybe it's not going to be one job, one person anymore. It may be about putting these teams together. So you have a game changer, you're going to need a strategist, but imagine if you had a bunch of just strategists together in a room. They'd strategize, right? Who's going to do something? The playmakers that sit in the middle. So the playmakers are the ones that take the people on board, pull all the different various departments together to be able to deliver. And then you have your implementers and you have your polishers. The polishers, a bunch of very frustrated people if they're very high on the scale because nothing's ever finished, nothing's ever perfect. But you need those, and like I say, there's different varieties of them and different mixtures. So we're just starting to work with them as another partner so that we can work with our clients on a very customized solution in terms of helping them move forward. And I'm also forgetting to move slides on. So just coming towards the end. So key drivers of transformation, which I've gone through some of it, and just one of the key points I want to make is you need to disrupt your core business before it gets disrupted. So that's one of the things to look at. And how do we ensure we evolve? Well, I said earlier on that management needs to be digital, and digital should be everyone's job. And really, real-time data powers that digital transformation. So there was just kind of, I've just got a 30-second video to play, which just 1 second before we play that. is, specialise in being closer to your consumers. Understand where the next technology is and what's going to happen next, so that you can see what's coming and you can evolve to meet it. And I think an essential part of digital transformation is to make those structural changes that enable collaboration, not just in name, but actually in practice. And that's where sort of iTalent and our partners would come in and help. So yeah, can you just play the video, which is...